So I would say don't dilute yourself because a lot of them take time. And if you're trying to farm 10 airdrops, you might miss out on 8 of them because you didn't qualify.
All right, y'all. I'm Kevin Estopanol. Welcome back to the Kevin Estopanol Show. Y'all, we got a returning guest, a good friend of mine, the host of Discover Crypto and Around the Blockchain, DZ. What is happening, my dude?
Man, Bitcoin is happening, man. I'm just looking at, we did another little spike candle, another little scam wick to wreck all the shorts right there. But it's just the beginning? Are we going to hit 60 in the next week? Who knows?
You know, I hate to say that this time's different or this pump's different,
is.
but something does feel different, man. What's your breakdown? I mean, Bitcoin 57,000. These are some ranges we haven't seen in a very long time. If you had to sum up one thing, what caused this Bitcoin pump? What do you think it was?
If I had to pick one thing, because there's a lot of different narratives, a lot of different stories people are saying, I would say the ETF is going to be the biggest news right now. Just the preliminary numbers, setting a record volume yesterday. And then, everyone woke up to the God candles today. So that kind of lets you know, crazy trading during Wall Street hours reverberated through the markets, took 12, 16 hours, and then boom, everything started pumping. And then this morning, I'd have to look at, I don't have the data yet. Market doesn't close for 50 minutes. But the pre-markets was also setting records. It was the 5th highest volume for pre-market ETF trading this morning, 5th highest in history.
Now, that demand through these ETFs, this Bitcoin ETF, the Bitcoin spot ETF that they said would never be approved, that was finally approved. Where do you think this demand's coming from? Is it institutional level investors? Is it Wall Street? Is it just people like me and you that's buying Bitcoin on the stock market? What do you think's going on?
Man, I keep hearing more and more financial advisors saying no retail customers are asking me for Bitcoin. I've talked to 50 money managers and 0 of them have customers, asking about Bitcoin. We had 100 requests for ETFs, 0 of them were Bitcoin. I keep seeing that story over and over and over. So that's kind of let me know that the people with millions, tens of millions, and even hundreds of millions, the family offices, the 5 dentists that have known each other for 40 years that pulled their money together. Grandpa left a trust and, we kind of got $48 million. These people aren't the ones buying Bitcoin. It's the billionaires buying Bitcoin. To me, that's really the biggest tell of them all.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. Billionaires are going to want to get their hands on this asset. Now, look, y'all, I want everybody to just savor in this pump today. It feels good, DZ. My portfolio is looking good. I'm sure yours is looking good, but let's kind of look a little bit further ahead. The Ethereum ETF is right around the corner. What do you think that the Ethereum ETF could do to the price of Ethereum?
Well, I mean, just look what it did to Bitcoin. And so Ethereum has been somewhat lagging behind Bitcoin, and not so much after the past week. I think the past week kind of removed that story from the headlines. Like ETH just can't catch up to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just kind of winning the race. Well, ETH it feels like it teleported $1,000, right? It was just hanging around $2,000. I feel like 2 weeks ago, right? If I close my eyes, like how long ago was ETH 2K? 10 days.
Forever.
That's what it feels like. It feels, I don't know, 10 days. You look, okay, maybe it was a lot farther than that. If I'm just kind of looking at some charts real quick. Okay, not that long ago, December, so I mean a couple months ago. And now that the fact that it's already 3K, are the institutions buying that right now? That's a big question. I think they are.
Yeah, if we pull back and we think about, the SEC has kind of come out and said that Bitcoin is a commodity and Ethereum is kind of in an other category. So do you think that perhaps the SEC could pull back a little bit and maybe classify Ethereum in the same category as Bitcoin, or will Ethereum just kind of be stuck in limbo?
Yeah, for those who don't know, Bitcoin is labeled a commodity. Ethereum really doesn't have a classification leaning towards security. There's people saying, no, it's not a security. Security is like, something that's highly regulated. Commodity is, I can go buy gold at the pawn shop. What are you talking about? That's a commodity. And I feel like all of crypto feels like it's a commodity. I feel like most smart people feel like it's a commodity. It's sufficiently decentralized compared to many stocks at this point. There's stocks where one insider holds 90% or a family holds 90%. And, we don't screech to the heavens about, oh, it's too centralized. They can manipulate it. Why? Oh, well, they have to do a report every 3 months, quarterly report. Oh, so we just trust them? Yeah. Do we trust Bernie Madoff? Sure. So, then it's like, well, what are we really talking about here? ETH, I think it's just too big at this point. The players behind it are too powerful at this point. And I think BlackRock wants a ETH ETF. So because of that, ETH will be labeled a commodity in 2024. That's my prediction.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm placing my bets. But DZ, this is the world of crypto, and expect the unexpected. The next Black Swan event is right around the corner. But let's kind of pull back and let's look at like the previous cycles. And I think me and you talked before, and you're kind of expecting or hoping maybe that we could see a Bitcoin all-time high, but it would happen after the halving. Do you still think that, or as it inches closer, is this cycle different?
Man, everybody, I think the timeline has moved up for everybody. I'm still a strong 4 year cycle guy, and if you look, I mean, it just kept played out 2017, played out 21. I feel like it's going to play out in 2025. And if you're a 4 year cycle guy, that means Bitcoin's going to top out roughly October 2025, and that is so long from now. We're talking 20 months, 20 months in crypto. Like, you know what can happen? Bitcoin was at its previous, it was 50K almost 20 months ago. It was like 22 months ago. And so 22 months ago, it was 50K, plummeted down, bear market, 15, 16K, now back to the euphoric. All that has happened in 22 months. And so to think 20 months from now, man, oh man, I can only imagine. I mean, if we maintain a bullish bias where it's like, yeah, we get retracements, but nothing really exceeding 40%. As long as we keep getting pumps that outsize, keep getting higher highs, it's like 200K Bitcoin at this point. And so if you think about, okay, 200K Bitcoin October, can it hit 70 in 2 months? I think it can. I'm still leaning. If I was in Vegas and I had a bet, I'd say no, but I'm not like, betting the farm on it. What
Yeah,
about you? Do you think it will? Yay or nay?
No,
Before
I
April
don't.
20th?
What I'm kind of predicting is going to happen, that is we're going to have this run up and we're going to get real close to the all-time high. Then it's going to pull back, massive correction. People going to kind of forget about Bitcoin again. And I think sometime in the timeline of early 2025 or mid 2025, that's when it's going to happen. But it's crypto, DZ. We never can tell, man. I buy Bitcoin every week and Ethereum every week automatically, so I can kind of take the guesswork out of it. But man, it something does just feel different right now, man. Something really feels different. And did you catch the other day? Trump came out and was asked about Bitcoin, and I just don't believe there's coincidences. Like they prepare these questions, they prepare what they're going to ask people. So Lauren Ingram asked Trump about Bitcoin. Did you catch what he said?
Yeah, you basically, you went from don't like it, I'm a dollar maxi, to saying a lot of people like it. And it's interesting. I think is that the exact phrase he used? Did he say interesting?
He said that he really likes the dollar. He could live with Bitcoin one way or the other, and that he does think some regulation is going to be needed. But he acknowledged that young people like Bitcoin, and that people want Bitcoin, people want to use it. So he's basically okay with it. But he's, like you said, a dollar maxi.
So I got a theory on that. If I had to guess, I think it's Vivek. Vivek was the main one out here saying, okay, yeah, his quote, "It's taken a life of its own. It's taken a life of its own." So I think Vivek is, rubbing circle, rubbing shoulders in that Trump inner circle. And I think, maybe it's kind of highlighted some of the benefits of cryptocurrency and how bad CBDCs are, and, how Bitcoin can ultimately keep US inflation in check. It's essentially, hey, we have a ledger proving how bad your inflation is. We have this store of value that's almost a direct result of your money printer machine. And when you look at it under that lens, Bitcoin can be good for America under that scenario.
Yeah. So do you feel like overall, like if I would have told you, like say during FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, Voyager, all that debacle, Bitcoin crashed, end of the world. If I would have told you, fast forward 2 years, Vivek Ramaswamy, orange
I'd
pilled,
say, who? Did you
yeah,
sneeze?
Ron DeSantis, orange pill, RFK Jr., orange pill, Trump's talking about Bitcoin. Would you have even believed me that this would be such a big issue? Seeing how far we've come, would you have even thought that we'd be here right now?
Oh no, I definitely wouldn't have thought it hit a public lexicon until closer to like November election, because Bitcoin topped out November 21, and it kind of got popular December, January. So like 12, 13, 11 months previous. And so if we do have an October top, that would kind of give us like November is when retail really starts to get involved. So I'm very, very surprised we're seeing all this. Basically, my timeline, where we're at today, is how I kind of felt we'd be 5, 6 months from now. So everything is being accelerated right now. Now, does that mean the top will be 5 months early, or will just the top be that much higher because we're pumping early? No one knows, and if they did, they'd be a trillionaire.
Well, now that you say that, I'm looking at some of my notes, and I don't know if you saw the story that came out. JP Morgan came out with an
That's
article.
Epstein's banker?
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein's banker, JP
Yeah, I
Morgan.
remember him from being Epstein's banker.
They came out and they said that the Bitcoin halving is priced in. So
Yeah,
I,
I
I I
believe
guess
that.
I guess we should get out. We should sell. We should.
Well, basically, it would mean, start buying Ethereum, is almost what I
Mm,
kinda, feel because, yeah, the priced in thing, there's a priced in meme. It's like, you think you know something. Oh, you work at McDonald's and you saw that they're feeding human meat to customers. You have the inside info. It's priced in. Basically,
mhm.
everything is gonna be priced in. Let's see. Here it goes. Don't even ask the question. The answer is yes, it's priced in. Think Amazon will beat the next earnings? It's priced in. You work the drive
Mm.
through for Mickey D's, found out the burger's made of human meat? Priced in. You think
Every
insiders don't already know that? The market's an all powerful, all encompassing being that knows the very inner workings of your subconscious before you were even born. It goes on longer than that. I'll just stop there. So, yeah, I would say it is priced in.
One thing I noticed what's different with this cycle, it kind of feels like coins that maybe me and you have talked about are kind of like regaining popularity. Like one would be like a Solana. And what I
Pepe
keep
today.
yeah, yeah. And then
See
you
that?
see Pepe. Did you see what Pepe did today? Like a 50%.
81. Well, hold on. Let me hit refresh. Okay, now it's down to 60%. At one point, 81% pump.
Incredible, incredible. So what that has me thinking is something that, me and you have talked a lot about is NFTs. And I know NFTs, weren't too popular to be talked about. People thought they were dead, but it's like, is that the next narrative to come back? If we keep seeing Bitcoin, Ethereum pump, we see all these layer ones pump, that money's got to go somewhere. Do you think perhaps we could see a resurgence in
Yeah.
NFTs, or is it just too early?
No, well, we are a little early. We will see a resurgence of NFTs. NFTs kind of were popular after bull market peak.
Hmm.
So it's like the dumb money's in, and then they're still dumb. And then they're like, well, my coins are going down. So here's something people don't think about. So ETH is worth 4,000 and your NFT is worth one ETH. Then when
Mhm.
ETH goes down to 1,000, which it did during this bear market, but then the fiat value, let's say it goes from 4,000 to 3,000. Well, now your NFT is worth 3 ETH. And so as tokens go down, people will store their value in these NFTs, and the fiat value will, let's say it's stagnant. They'll see the token price go
Mhm.
up. They're like, oh my God, it was worth 2.7 Solana. Now it's worth 2.9. And then you're like, well,
Mhm.
Solana fell 30% during that time. They're like, yeah, shut up. I'm up. And so we are early. It's going to be peak retail that drives that. And I think video games is going to be a big part of that narrative. And people still want to flex online. It'll just
Mhm.
be, I think Sappy Seals will be pretty popular, maybe Pudgy Penguins. And the Penguins for sure. I still think Bored Ape and Yuga is going to kind of rule the day, though. All Yuga has to do is have a more epic Ape Fest than, was it 22?
Mhm.
And I mean, it'll feel like the bull market again.
Yeah, the Pudgy Penguins, they had done something with Walmart, right? They were
Mhm.
selling actually physical merch in Walmart. Do you think that not just from them, but from other NFT projects, is that a trend that you think is going to really get started this year? Like,
Yeah.
it,
Well,
the whole NFT market, it just feels like you and I have been into it, but like I really am realizing that like the technology is not here yet. Like people just don't understand it. It's really not set up for it yet, but something's about to happen. And if it becomes viable to sell these things in retail, then that right there alone should set it off, right?
well, I think the toys will be pretty big, and yeah, it'll be a good retail driver. I think what retail wants to get behind those owning part of a company. And so
Mhm.
if hey, we have 10,000 of these PFPs and 5% of our profits from selling toys in Walmart are going to go to the holders,
Mhm.
that's when people are going to get excited. I'm really besides the toy ecosystem, I think the animated ecosystem might be big for kids
Mhm.
animations, so like say, hey, we are going to have a funding round in Ape DAO or something, and it's we're going to spend $500,000 producing a pilot episode of an animated series, and the goal is to get picked up by a Netflix and
Mhm.
Amazon, Amazon Prime. And then we all of a sudden they sign a $10 million deal with Netflix. Okay, now it's raining money onto the holders.
Mhm.
So when it's like funded via an NFT, and then the NFT ecosystem gets to reap those rewards off media, I think that's
Mhm.
going to be a big driver. We've seen people try it. Stoner Cats with Ashton Kutcher, I forget her name, and Vitalik. Remember that video where he looked like he was hostage in
Mhm.
Ashton's kitchen? That was
Mhm.
weird. Or he's Mila Kunis or something like that. People have tried it. It's flopped. I think people make enough of these shows. Something's going to stick. Something's going to be funny. Something will land.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, yeah, culture and society, these shifts happen fast, and something that was unknown is now just ingrained in society and culture, and it's like, we never knew life without it. Something that I talked about a lot is that the idea that big corporations would come in and do like the micro strategy. The closest thing I think we've seen is Reddit. Did you see Reddit came out and
Yeah.
announced that a bunch of Bitcoin, Ethereum for their treasury? Do you think that's something that in 2024 we could see more publicly traded companies, maybe like an Apple or a big tech
I'll be
giant
honest.
do it?
I can't believe we haven't seen more of it already. Why
Mhm.
didn't no are you gonna tell me all these CEOs who are generally gonna be smarter than average, all
Mhm.
these smart we have a giant group of smarter than average people that
Mhm.
are, got their ear to the streets. None of them decided to market buy a bunch of Bitcoin at the bottom. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't it almost feels like it's a SEC issue. Although, and then you think about, well, who has done it? Well, we have MicroStrategy. He has autism. Of course, that's why he did it.
Yeah.
We love Michael Saylor, though.
Love
But
Michael.
then you think about Elon. All right, well, the other big name is Elon. Well, Elon is the one who's really sticking his middle finger to the elites, to the
Mhm.
powerful, telling them to GFY.
Mhm.
So to me, I just don't know if it's a bravery issue or if it's a intelligence issue, like they just can't grasp what Bitcoin is, or if it's a fear issue because of Gary Gensler. But something's going on, man.
Yeah, something's going on, and there has to be like it has to have been at least talked about. Or there's no way they just didn't think about this. There's no way that
Their
hasn't.
balance sheets are getting inflated,
Mhm.
and you got $100 billion, which isn't crazy for a tech company. And all of a
Oh,
sudden, your
Apple's
purchasing
got
power in a year
billions.
is $92 billion.
Mhm. Apple's got, so it's like that this had to have come up. But yeah, like you said, there's some other reason that's stopping them from doing it.
Yeah. I almost wanted to pull up Apple's balance sheet, just so I could see, I don't have to
It's
try to find it
crazy.
there because they do have cash on hand, and yeah, to
Mhm.
your point, man, it'll be like sometimes 100 billion is basically nothing.
Mhm.
It's, they have a lot more than that. Looks yeah, they have billions. They have billions.
Are there any, anything going on right now with y'all at Discover Crypto? I haven't been there in a while. I know you have made a lot of changes over the last couple years. And anything big you guys are working on?
Uh, it's 23 billion, by the way. We are working what are we working on? Right now I'm working on Cardano airdrop guide.
Mhm.
I can maybe give your team a little alpha here, maybe
Okay.
I can give them a little alpha.
Always.
Check out splash dot all right, so it is Dex Hunter, and there's gonna
Dex
be a splash airdrop on Dex Hunter. And Dex Hunter, Dex aggregator on Cardano, so you don't have to use MinSwap. Like, they'll use MinSwap, you trade through there. That it's like, when you do MetaMask, there's like find the cheapest one. So think
Yeah.
of it that way as on Cardano. And the more you use it, hey, you're gonna get an airdrop. So pretty cool. Working on that. As far as we have a team right now, Josh is there, TJ's there in
Mhm.
Panama as we speak. We're
Mhm.
at an AI conference, and might be at a conference next week with George from Cryptos R Us.
Oh, nice.
So, man, just honestly spending all our time just trying to get the alpha out there, learning more alpha, and then just trying to share that alpha.
Yeah, no, I wrote that down, man, because airdrops are something that in previous cycles I did for whatever reason I didn't just get involved in. But yes, a lot of people are making a ton of money from these free airdrops, right?
One thing I like about Cardano airdrop is not going to be
Mm.
farmed to death by the airdrop hunters.
Mhm.
And I love this guy's community. I love the video he puts out. I'm just going to say him because he's so popular.
Mhm.
Virtual bacon. You get like a virtual bacon in on an airdrop. By then I feel like it's been milked, it's been diluted. It's
Mhm.
170,000 wallets of qualified, and you're like, God, I'm just like this very, very small minnow, man. And I feel like in Cardano, you got a better chance of, you feel like a grouper at least.
Yeah, it seems like with airdrops and stuff like that, and even some of these meme tokens that blow up, even though I do consider myself kind of dialed in, it just seems like I'm always late to the party, man. So what would be the goal like for finding low cap coins in this run or finding NFT projects or airdrops? What would be the best strategy to do that?
Well, first I'll share a story about my Tia staking. So I'm making a Tia video, how to stake with Tia. I buy a bag of Tia, And I'm using Milky Way Finance or something. I'm staking through the wallet. I'm doing all these things, and I'm doing batches of 20 TIA. And
Mhm.
TIA is not crazy, cheap. You know what I mean? It's not crazy expensive either. It was maybe $10 around this, probably around 15. TIA, no, is that it? No, that's the wrong one. Celestia. Uh, okay, here we go. Clicked in the wrong one. Yeah, TIA's around $17. And so, 20 TIA at $10, hey, $200 per protocol. I'm trying to do multiple protocols. The airdrop cutoff was 25 TIA.
Mhm.
And I missed
Wow.
out on all these airdrops because I did 20 instead of 25.
Mm.
And so to me, one of the worst things you can do is dilute yourself. A lot of them will say, yeah, well, you needed to do 30 trades over 180 days. And you're like, well, dang it, I did 90 trades, but I did it over 5 protocols. And now every
Mhm.
protocol has only got 22 trades. So now I feel like I got nothing. Or, the ones I did qualify was almost nothing. So I almost would rather say, look at just a few. Stick to your niche. Are you into
Mhm.
NFTs on Solana? Find some Solana degen play that, hey man, you post in the Discord with memes, you get points, and then those points qualify for airdrops. You're
Mhm.
really into DeFi on Arbitrum. Stick with 2 or 3 Arbitrum DeFi plays. Don't just try to do every single EVM wallet.
Mhm.
So I would say don't dilute yourself because a lot of them take time. And if you're trying to farm 10 airdrops, you might miss out on 8 of them because you didn't qualify. And if
Mhm.
you just would have stuck with 4, you would have had 4 more robust airdrops.
Yeah, yeah, it's kinda like, when you're doing the farming for the airdrops, almost like, it's a full-time job. Now,
Dude, yeah.
one narrative that's still kinda around is, well, definitely still around, the AI narrative. Do you
Yeah.
think that this cycle is gonna be, big for AI coins? And if you don't mind, man, any AI coins
Oh,
you're
I got
looking at?
AI alpha for you folks
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah, I do think AI pumps off AI news, right? So AI pumped last time off Sora.
Mhm,
Then it's like, what's the next? There's still things for AI. To me, what's really going to be cool is, the text to video. That's cool. But
mhm,
imagine being able to upload an entire episode of Sopranos, and then you say, I want this in the Star Wars universe. And, Tony Soprano is still Tony Soprano. Or, I'm watching Star Wars and you upload an entire Clone Wars episode, or you upload entirety of episode 4, and you say, make it like a Quentin Tarantino movie. How cool would that be? And so
gonna
there's
need a
still
lot of
really,
NVIDIA
really
chips
cool
to do
things.
that.
Say what?
Gonna need a lot of NVIDIA chips to do that, man.
Yes, you will. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know if you saw that there's like new chips that are coming out that like are better than Nvidia's at AI because it only now I'm getting like ahead of my skis here. But I do think there's still going to be several AI wow moments, and it's the holy that's what makes the tokens move.
Mhm,
So ask yourself, is AI done wowing us? I don't think so. So I don't know. You got to ask yourself. So now for the AI alpha. All right. So
mhm,
that's your AI tick. I mean, look at every last spike. First
mhm,
spike was December 22 when ChatGPT released. So
mhm,
if you track AI coins, look at that spike, see the consolidation, see the retracement, see what the next spike, see the consolidation, see the retracement, and we're just spiked again. So maybe look at those previous pumps to
mhm,
find your entry point. So that's all I'm going to say. Everyone's risk tolerance is different. The alpha for AI is, you can make a lot of money investing in, oh, never mind. You can't make a lot. You lose money. Say you invested in Google because of their AI. Well, you lost money, right? They just
mhm.
like melted a whole bunch off their market cap because their Gemini is racist. And so who is making money? It's the picks and shovels.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the gold rush.
Mhm.
You don't make money in the gold rush panning for gold. You make money selling picks, axes, and blue jeans.
Brilliant. Yeah,
Levi
brilliant.
Strauss, born out of the gold rush. So what's the picks, axes, and shovels of AI? And it's DPen. And DPen is the dumbest freaking name in the world. I hate DPen. I
Mhm.
think it makes people go to sleep. You start thinking of like, wait, like my PIN number? And I'll admit it, I know what DPIN, decentralized physical infrastructure network. I still think of a PIN code.
Mhm.
I just said DPIN. Did you think of your PIN?
I have no idea even what that is. My first hearing about it.
So DPIN, here's what you really got to think about when you think of DPIN: compute, storage, communications.
Mhm,
That's the infrastructure of AI: compute, storage, communications. And so
mhm,
there's we found some really good plays on Cardano. I think there's
mm.
still pretty low market cap. IAG is the file coin of Cardano.
Ooh.
File coin of Cardano. And if let's see here, I think I can.
And you're still you guys are y'all still
Share my
pretty
screen.
bullish on Cardano, right?
I'll tell you what, I'm not even gonna bother sharing the screen. I'm just gonna look as fast as I can. Filecoin market cap 3.9 billion. Let's
Mhm.
just say four. A $4 billion market cap. Iagon less than 200 million. So that's a
Wow.
5x to hit a billion plus another 4x. That is if Iagon does a 20x, still less than Filecoin's valuation. So
Wow.
if Filecoin does a 10x and the lower cap is able to do a 20, 30x, well, then you really start looking at some real numbers right there. So that's storage, compute. No, Iagon is also storage there, compute. So you go to taptools.io, I think taptools.io, and it'll tell
Mhm.
you every Cardano token. Yeah, taptools.io. And then it has under the name, it'll say meme coin, cloud services, telecoms, compute, stuff like that. So that's this is a tool for you. Taptools.io. You want to find like the next narrative.
Yeah, no, Imma definitely check that out, because Cardano, I've got my portfolio kinda set, and I've just kinda forgotten about Cardano a little bit, but, you thinking it's gonna do pretty well in this next cycle?
It went to $3 with only a wallet.
Yeah,
How?
true. It's a good point.
How? So what's the next cycle look like? And its tokenomics aren't as bad as a lot of tokens. It's just its steady issuance rate. I think it's down to like 3.5%. So maybe it was
Mhm.
4.5, maybe even 5%, a couple years ago. So yeah, it's not got crazy token unlocks like Arbitrum.
Mhm.
Arbitrum has an unlock in like around a month, $2 billion worth of tokens.
Jeez, damn. Incredible.
And so,
Um
yeah, you just have a steady drip versus like these massive VC unlocks coming. So, yeah, I think Cardano can do another pump. I don't think it's going to go to $10, but you know what? If it went to $5, I mean, you're
I
still looking pretty good right now.
I'd be loving if it went to $4, I would be loving it. DZ, we're running out of time, man. Anything else you want to leave my audience with, and where can they find you at?
Find us Discover Crypto if you want to follow my content. DZBTCDEEZY underscore in between there. Folks, now is the time to not get shaken out of the markets because there is going to be a correction. We don't know when the correction's coming. It might be a month from now. It might be starting to right now as I'm talking. It started already, possibly. Don't get shaken out of the markets. Realize we are still a long ways away from the end of the 4-year cycle. Even if we have a 50% correction, just look at it as a buying opportunity. Keep that dry powder on the sidelines. Don't buy the giant green wicks. There are still undervalued projects. You don't have to chase every pump.
Incredible, DZ, man. Thank you again for coming on, man. I learned something new every time I have you, and I will definitely reach out to you again in a couple months because you know how crazy the world of crypto can get. So I'm definitely going to need to talk to you again. But that's all we got time for today, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching, y'all. We are out. Peace.